Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrac and Kole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hi there, everybody. This is Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This is Joanne Kandrac, and today we are recording episode number 59. And this is a topic that we love and that we've been asked a lot about, and we're going to give you our 6 secrets to a successful business partnership. It's really hard to believe. August 15th. Is our 14th year together as Kandrac and Kole.
We haven't planned a celebration. What are we going to do?
Well, 14 is a weird number. I think we need to wait till we get to maybe we get to 15 on. Yeah. And it has been quite the journey, similar to that of a marriage and raising a child. We have birthed this business. We have learned and grown so much in these 14 years. And even though there's been some ups and downs, but quite honestly, very, very few downs.
Yes.
We are very lucky to say that it has been really a great adventure.
So several business owners have shared that they wish they could find someone to share their business with and always ask us what makes it work. I'm telling you, we must get this serious, question several times a year where people are like, tell me the story. How did you find each other? I'm just so tired. I don't want to be by myself anymore, but I can't even imagine like who I would work with or how I would find somebody. So, and we've had some friends that we've mentored and, kind of walked through the process, and some worked and some didn't work. And so I think there's a lot of homework that needs to go into this decision. And so we're going to kind of walk you through some that we think are really important.
And I think it kind of depends on the type of business as well. You know, what investments you're talking about. But like in art, I think in the interior design industry, there's a lot of solo people.
More than anything else.
And so that's, I think, what a lot of people crave is like someone to help bounce ideas off of. I mean, we do so much traveling, and there's been many times that, we'll walk into a room. We might not know anybody, but you kind of have that other person there. I mean, Kelly and I are both very, very independent. Like I don't, I'm not scurrying behind her going, I don't want to meet anybody new. We're not.
Although I do that sometimes to her.
It's just very hard to believe. So I think it's nice to have someone to share that with and be able to, just not be alone. And I think artists are the same way. So I have to say the number one, and we've said this over and over again, is you have got to have mutual respect for each other. And we usually do our quotes at the end, but this one quote, I've seen a lot of women post this, that one woman can make a difference, but together we can rock the world.
Totally.
And it kind of reminds me of, like remember middle school girls, how, there's always someone who's pitting up against the other. But, when you're all together, you're so strong together. And so we have a lot of very nice people in our industry that, help each other out and whatever. And so I think building each other up only helps you.
Yeah. And I think we may have touched on this on another show, but I think I may have touched on the Enneagram, which a lot of people know about. And when you know your number.
Can you spell that? Because I haven't done it. Enneagram, like Anogram?
No, I think it's Enneagram, I think. We're going to take the whole test as a team. But I know just from listening to podcasts that I'm a 1, and 1s are your typical firstborn, very driven and perfectionist, but they also find the negative in a lot of things. Like, I mean, I will walk into a room and I see all the beauty and I see all the perfection, but I will zone in on that one negative thing, especially if I'm responsible for that room. And so we were talking about this past week about how we all should take the test so we can even though we've all worked together at Kandrac and Kole for so long, that we could dig a little deeper into each other's personalities. But the reason why I bring it up is because as a 1, I find that negative, and I'm not very tolerant of weakness, of mistakes, of differences of opinion. And I know this is a problem for myself, but because...
Well, you've done pretty good.
Well, because I have that mutual respect for you, that I I'm not going to slam you because I have so much respect for you. And I have to say, well, I'm not perfect either. And I have my own weaknesses. So I think that's a big, a really big deal to acknowledge that between two people. And we have, we're very honest with each other to say, my strength, I'm a very good writer. I'm good with numbers. Joanne's good in totally different things than I am, and thank God, because we need each other to be whole. But I think you've got to really. It's hard to acknowledge those things in another person unless you have that respect.
And there's times when you have to dig your heels in and say, I feel very strongly about this, even though you don't think so. And then there's times it's like, you know what? If she really wants, I'm okay with that. So, And so, like I said, in the 14 years, there's been so few of those. They've been there. I mean, there's no doubt. But they're never bigger than a relationship or bigger than, the success for our business, which is our ultimate goal. So
yes.
I think we have it very well figured out. But, we're just trying to explain to you that you're going to maybe have to put a little bit aside, like a marriage, give and take, communication. I mean, just like any great relationship, the communication has to be there.
But understanding those strengths and weaknesses is really important. And the second one is building each other up. There's many times when one of us have said to the other, I am
cooked.
I'm cooked. I'm not in a happy place today. It's never been anything that lasts too long, or I have to walk away. Can you just do this for me? I can't deal with this client anymore, or my brain dead on this project, or I'm just flat out not in a good mood today.
and even if the person doesn't say that, the other one is very perceptive of that. So it's either like, is everything okay? Or I'm just not going to say anything today. Maybe it'll work out. But you have to be very in tune to each other. And that's part of, having a good relationship.
We've had another big one under this category is forgiving mistakes. We all make them, some bigger than others. And if you haven't made a big one, you're going to make a big one. And, like I said, I'm very hard on myself. And so it's the most pacifying thing to have Joanne say, it's okay. You might not have realized this, or you were tired that day or whatever. If she were to come down on me when I'm already beating myself up, that would be not so good.
Yeah. And so it's nice when you have made a mistake that the other person just says, hey, don't sweat it. We all make, I feel like we say that a lot. We all make mistakes. So you have to just.
And interior design, most mistakes are huge.
Yes.
They cost money.
That is true.
And it really sucks.
And then the other one is sharing responsibility equally. And that doesn't mean, okay, you spend 3 hours on this and I have to spend 3 hours on that. There's never any there's no running clock that's saying who's doing what. It's the unknown because,
yes.
And that was one of the reasons I think we were attracted to each other in the beginning was that we both work really hard. And it was so nice to have a person who was a lot like me, who really had the work ethic that I do, and just the personalities just clicked. But I never feel like, oh boy, she's slacking. I'm doing everything.
I would be so mad. I could not shake that. I'd have to be up your butt and say, what the heck is going on? And I've never had to.
We've never had to. We have never.
That would just drive me crazy if I felt like I was carrying a huge load for an extended period of time. Of course, there's times when we're like, I need help. I'm dying right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really big deal. And I don't think. I think that would be, we knew that about each other because we worked in a showroom together and we worked in different departments, but we could watch each other. She saw me in the fabric and design department and I saw her in the buying and merchandising and display department. And we watched each other every day. So we kind of knew, and then we did a test show house together, which is another good, suggestion if you're kind of toying with the idea of a partner is, test it out somehow before you're getting all official. Maybe work on a big project together or,
Yeah. So that's kind of the personality part of it, which, is really key. But then structuring a business, is very serious business.
Yes.
And so when we first started, we hired a business lawyer to get us structured and to create a contract for us.
Yep. We hired a CPA right away and a bookkeeper down the line. We did our own little, QuickBooks and then Studio Webware down the line. But we got our chiefs all lined up on our little.
And we had a couple of mentors, who were already in business, who had kind of given us some tips on what you need to do. And one of them was the owner of the paint company that we use. And he suggested us get a buy-sell.
Virgin Associates. He's an awesome guy, Michael Salwick.
Yeah. A buy-sell agreement. I never really knew what that was.
Yeah.
You can Google it, and there's like long explanations, but in a nutshell, it's a formal agreement that defines an exit strategy and ownership succession plans between the co-owners of a business.
But it also required that we buy life insurance on each other.
Yes.
And it's not a big ticket item, but it's, if Joanne were to fall off the planet tomorrow and I just didn't feel like Kandrac and Kole could keep going, then that would pay me, a lump sum of money so that at least I could get my feet back on the ground and decide, what I was going to do. So, and there's also, insurance is a really big thing that we had to both be in on it. It's an expensive part of our overhead, but it's a peace of mind thing that she and I both really agree on. So if you don't agree on this with your partner, then to me, that's a deal breaker. We've got life insurance, we have errors and omissions insurance, we have general liability insurance. We pay our bookkeeper every single month. We pay our CPA quite a lump sum at the end of the month, but our financials are clean and all those peace of mind things are in place. So if you had a business partner that was like, we
don't need to do that.
I don't want to spend that every month. Well, okay, well then we're not going to be in business together.
See you bye.
Yeah, that would be my opinion.
Yeah, and being flexible. You have to kind of keep an open mind. I may not like an idea at the onset, and then Kelly might explain, why she came up with this, and this, and I'm like, oh yeah. So be flexible. To listen and, have that give and take and be willing to negotiate when you need to.
Absolutely. And we and realize that if somebody's in a bad mood, it's only temporary. And sometimes we call each other out. Sometimes I just prefer if she says, it's a bad day, everybody, but I can usually read the body language or the tone of voice, and she does the same for me. It's like, oh, stay away. Yeah, this is she needs to be alone in her office today. So, but I think that being flexible is a really big deal. And I'm getting better as I get older. Yeah, it's that one in me. I'm not terribly flexible, but I'm getting much better.
I've brought you around a little bit.
Yeah, you have helped me.
I think if you have those things down, then all the other things can be worked out because you're not, you're kind of listening to each other and encouraging each other. But another thing is, the business is just one part of your life, but your personal life. And luckily, Kelly and I's personal lives are very, very similar.
Yes.
There's not one of us who, has a chateau in France and, leaves for a couple months or, we pretty much have our personal lives are pretty much the same. But we've gone in 14 years, we've gone through teenagers and all kinds of things. And so there's times when something personal might come up and that person might just say, you know what, I've got to take a couple of days. I can't, whatever. And so you just have to honor and respect the personal things that are going on in another person's life. Now,
I think there's a caveat to that. Like you said, like you know how people are drama queens and they just have drama in their lives. They create the drama just, they're magnets to drama. I could not handle a person like that. If it was wham all the time or, some big, I just couldn't handle it. I don't know. It stressed me out completely. There's no time. There's no time for that. Yeah. There's just no time for that. And I would think that would be something to really investigate or think about when you're looking for a partner. Of course, there could be a massive disaster, but for the most part, are our jobs stable? Our lives stable? Are they balanced? Is our home life happy? Because we've got so much going on in the office that if my personal life was a disaster, that would be a heavy load for you to try and carry for me,
Yeah. So that's it. And, kind of at the end of the day, we have to remember we're on the same team.
Yes.
So everything that we're doing is really for the good of our company. It's not that you got your way, I got my way.
You have to win.
Yeah, that project, you know.
That's my project, back away.
Yeah. So can't stress that enough.
And while we're talking about that, I would say for anybody I guess this could really apply to all businesses, but for us from the beginning, Joanne said, I had already been working on my own for 4 years on the side as an interior designer. So I had quite a bit of clientele and projects kind of in the works. And she said from the very beginning, I will only partner with you if I'm 50-50. And that was the smartest thing we ever did, because I don't know how we would do it if one person, because then if it's 60-40, do I have to work harder than you, or do I, so I'm making more money than you, but you're still in it to win it? That makes no sense to me at all. So I would say you got to make that decision. Like, are you willing to have one financial statement and every client is both of your clients, and every problem is both of your problems, and every employee is both of your employees? And it's, so if you come to the table with other projects that are in the works, then they become both of your projects. You got to, it becomes a sharing situation.
And it is a little tricky, because I think if you have been in business for a little while, we'll use interior designers as an example, but it could probably relate to any other business.
Yep.
And you've ran your business a certain way, and your company name is a certain name, and you have accounts with certain vendors. And then let's just say if there's two people who decide that they want to work together. Mm-hmm. That might be a little bit tougher, because they've already kind of had their thing going. But I think that's where you become the team, and it's not just your vendors, my vendors, they become ours, and we are stronger together.
Yes.
So you have that could be a little bit trickier, because we kind of started out, we opened the accounts. We started out together. We didn't have completely
one checking
separate
account, one everything. So we've talked about the peace of mind things, the insurance, the accountant, all that, and agreeing that is an important part of your business. And then we've talked about, sharing the financial aspects and projects. The other thing that I would say, if you're considering another client or another partner, considering a partnership, is what is the commitment on both of your parts for marketing and social media? Because in this day and age and technology, it's ever changing, it's expensive, and it's a huge part of being successful in almost every business. So if you're not tech savvy and you're not into social media, are you willing to outsource it? Are you willing to make that investment? If one partner is gung-ho, we've got to be big on Insta, big on Facebook, and the other one's going, I'm not interested. I don't even know what that is. That would be a huge red flag for me, unless that other person that was clueless was willing to outsource it or be flexible to learn or what have you, because
and then there's those
it's a big deal. I mean, we're rebranding right now, and it's a lot of money, and we both had to decide to do that.
Yeah, we had to really talk it through. But the other thing is, sometimes there's like a silent partner. Mm-hmm. What I mean by silent, meaning they're just willing to just kind of do kind of all of the admin or do kind of all that, and then there's the other person who's kind of like the salesperson and whatever. Mm-hmm. You have like we talked about the strengths and weaknesses. If you are doing what you're strong at, you're going to be better for the business.
And I think that's a fine partnership, if that's what works for you. If one's like, I don't want to be the face, I don't want to be on the front line, I'm happy to just put my head down and work, but I do have a lot of opinions, and I will be strong in my own way. And then the other person is the mover and the shaker. I think that's totally great. It's what works for you.
And maybe the person who isn't that personality wants to give that to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that person that's a little more gregarious, might want to let the other person do the things that are just more behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. So where are we? We talked about being flexible. We talked about being supportive, being honest. I think we've started to put aside like days of the week where we go to Panera and we hide from everybody, and we really just take 3 to 4 hours to brain dump on our business and what we're, and Joanne said to me yesterday, she goes, I'm just going to be honest, because, you just need to know this, but like, in that Facebook private group the other day, you called a guy a jerk, and I just didn't really think that was necessary. I was like, okay, thank you for sharing.
But
I hear you. I'm like, oh my gosh, she just kind of spanked me.
But those are kind of like, the little uncomfortable things that you have to say every now and then.
Yeah.
But the only reason that I did it was because I didn't want it to affect our business.
Well, yeah, because I'm kind of speaking for us both. And well, if one of us goes off, then the other one's going to be like, stop.
And if she had said the same to me, like I probably would have done it and thought, oh, I probably should have. But by her telling me that, it was like, okay. But those are the kinds of things that you have to be able to be a little tough. She didn't sit there and go, oh, and then, kind of be mad that I told her that. I mean, she took it very well. And that's what you need to be able to do. You have to be able to talk things through and voice a frustration, or even if it's a little uneasiness. It's just, like I said, it's really like a marriage.
Well, and it's the business in the end. Do you want your business to be successful? And if you do, you got to talk through some uneasy stuff sometimes. So thankfully, we don't have a lot of that because we're just very upfront and forthright from the get-go. So don't have a ton of built up angst.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really big deal. You got to be able to move on. Oh my gosh. If you meet somebody and they're a big grudge holder, that would not be my business partner. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other thing is the people that you are, your clients, your vendors, you are a brand. I mean, you are a brand. What do people, what do you stand for when people meet you, or what is your business all about? And having that same goal. Do you remember our mission statement? Because we wrote
I love our mission statement. Yeah, it's on the front of our website, and to this day I love it.
Yeah,
it's 14 years old.
And it's still the same thing. So we're going to look
talking,
it up.
I'll look it up because I don't know it by heart.
So it was great because, whether you're starting a business or rebranding, you have to ask yourself those questions. Why am I doing this? What's our goals? Mm-hmm. What problems are we solving for this business? And so when you start to ask yourself all those questions, it's so good because it makes you really think about and get very real about what are we doing and why are we doing it. So here is the mission statement. Go ahead, Kole.
So it says, imagine and create distinctive spaces, stay innovative and current, build lifelong client relationships, be successful entrepreneurs, be honest and thorough in the details, have fun and laugh often.
And I feel like we have lived that for 14 years.
Yep.
I really do.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I feel pretty.
But I think having a sense of humor is a big deal. I mean, we say to ourselves all the time, because, one of us will get completely worked up over a client just being so difficult, or a manufacturer, just a product that's come in damaged for the third time, or just, and we say to ourselves, it's not cancer. This is a luxury. It's interior design. It's a luxury situation. Mm-hmm. So, but when it's your business and it's your baby, it doesn't matter what. You could be a mechanic, a dentist, an artist. It doesn't matter. When it's your baby, sometimes we get all riled up, and this is why we go to Guatemala every year. We get our head on straight.
And we've had a very challenging summer, I would say.
It's been, everybody thinks, oh, look at those girls. They're so crazy. They're always doing something wild and fun and working on crazy projects. And yes, that is true. But let me tell you what, this summer has just killed us. And we went to lunch the other day, and I looked at Joanna and I said, I've never said this before, but I'm almost ready to throw in the towel. She was like, are you serious? Because if you are, we need to talk about this right now.
Or then
I said, no, I'll be totally fine tomorrow. But right today, I'm just...
Yeah. And then, but like last week, I think I'm sitting at my desk and I got some email, and I don't even remember what it was right now, but I looked at my computer. I go, I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting my job.
She goes...
And she's in the other room going, no, you're not.
And I hear her in my office going, I hear her go, oh, blank, 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 blank. And I'm like... I can't take it right now. Keep it to yourself. Whatever just happened, I cannot know about it right now. It's just, that's the way this summer's been. Oh my gosh. But you know what? Then Joanne said yesterday at our brainstorm meeting, she was like, do you think that like all of this ickiness is is preparing us because we're about to get the phone call of a lifetime. I'm like, I love your positive attitude. Yes, let's stick with that. It's about to be the greatest thing ever.
We're going to get a phone call of a lifetime, and then we're going to go, remember that day we both wanted to throw in the towel? Good thing we didn't. So
exactly.
I'm thinking positively.
Yeah. So these are the conversations that you need to have with or think about before you have a prospective partner or you're about to. Like I said to my daughters when they were going through sorority rush, I said, think about it like this. These are the girls that will be your bridesmaids. These are the girls you need to be able to cry, be naked in front of, just be yourself, be nasty, be pretty, be whatever, and they will always still love you. And so pick that sorority where you feel that you can be that person. And so these are the conversations because sometimes it gets icky.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go through our quotes and end with a bang.
Okay. I want to do the funny one. Because it's so funny.
Okay. So I'll do.
Oh, wait. Well, this isn't even a quote. This was just like something that I kind of wrote that I wanted to end on.
Okay.
And it's basically, I just wanted to say that
you're going to preach for a minute.
I'm going to preach for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's good.
Yeah, go.
We feel infinitely blessed to be living our passion, and we owe a big thanks to the outstanding people we work with.
Yep.
Service from our vendors, the clients who allow us to work in their homes.
Yep.
This brilliant design industry that we're fortunate to be a part of.
Yep.
Amy and Lisa, the two in our office who just do such a great job helping us run everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
our husbands.
Yes.
Who are the greatest supporters.
And they are our greatest supporters. So thank you, Drew and Mike.
Yep, for sure. All right, so here's your kind of serious quote for the day. And it's very appropriate for our discussion today. Mm-hmm. If we can bend a little, maybe shift our perception and appreciate a different point of view, we can perhaps improve the world around us.
That's it. Just appreciate a different point of view.
Yep.
Okay, the funny quote. This is actually me.
You're already starting to laugh. That means it's funny.
It's me and Kelly, really.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty easy person to live with. Also me. You can't use that hand towel. It's for decoration. And so are the pillows and the cutting board.
That is totally me. I want my house to be a museum, and I get totally spazzed out when my family is messing everything up.
Like, you cannot get oil and grease on that cutting board. Like, It's just for show.
And that hand towel that's right by the soap and right by the sink. Please don't use that. All right, everybody. We hope that was really helpful. It's something that, again, everybody asks us about, and we think we can really have a good story to tell.
And if you want to ask us any questions, send us a direct message.
Yeah,
through
absolutely.
Facebook or Instagram. We're happy to. Yeah.
Mentor and help in this area.
Yeah, we had helpers along the way too, so we would be glad to help if anybody has any questions.
Yep. So thanks for listening.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrac Kole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrac-kole.com for more information.